Hey, guess what time it is? Last episode, we did the Mitsubishi Eclipse, which had 2 interior colors. I think the biggest comparison was the Dragon Ball Z color scheme, so fair, I get it. We're moving on to the next one. In this episode, Exhibit talks about the XJ220, which is one of the weirdest and quirkiest supercars that's ever existed.
Cars like the Jaguar XJ220 are referred to as supercars because they built for speed and they push it to the limit, just like me.
So this time around, you notice one thing. It's not West Coast Customs anymore, and you're like, how can it be Pimp My Ride without West Coast Customs? How can they do this? Well, they went over to Galant Autosports instead, and Galant Autosports is actually a very reputable company now out in California. They did the Galant Rocket, which is the crazy modified Mustang. They did a lot of stuff with the Ford GT, what have you. But a really big gig they got was the opportunity to have Pimp My Ride, and you're not gonna say no to MTV in 2004. Essentially, this time around, we meet a young woman who has a car that isn't really a performance car, unless it was the VR4, but it was a Mitsubishi Galant. Literally, the guy from Galant says this is the most unmarketable car ever made.
This is one of the most unremarkable cars I've ever seen.
You know, it's falling apart. It looked good from like 20 feet.
But Exhibit goes to the house, they do the whole spiel, they do the rehearsed shock moment. Bodywork on this car must have been so tough. There were so many dents and divots and cracks in the paint. It must have been a nightmare. So I give Galant a lot of credit on that, because even the owner says that she got mad one day and just kicked it just because to teach it a lesson.
So I just had to teach you a little lesson.
Okay.
So they bring the car to Galant and then they have the meeting.
She's 22 and drives a 94 Mitsubishi Galant. She works for a...
Before I even mention what happens to this car, the guy who's leading the guys at Galant even says this is the most useless thing that Pimp My Ride has ever done.
Bo Diddley, check this out. You know when you say a girl's got a nice pair of headlights?
I don't know where you're going with this, but it's scaring me.
Well, in Monique's case, they're gonna be talking about her actual headlights, because I'm putting monitors in them.
They want to put monitors, which is already a Pimp My Ride inside joke, to give you 30 monitors and then take it back because the producers need that money back.
That has got to be one of the most useless things I've ever heard of.
The screen is like this big? Like, who's gonna watch that?
That's right, we gotta cut a hole in the old headlight. All right, Monique, you're all set to light up the road.
I'm not gonna get a microscope and watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy in front of my car. It's just one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen done to a car. Period. TV or no TV. Bet you he just woke up in the middle of the night. What are we gonna tell the producers what we're gonna do this to Galant? Because there's nothing we can do to this Galant. And they're like, oh yeah, let's just put monitors somewhere because that's what everybody makes fun of us anyway. And the rest of the game plan is okay.
You all know I work at the speed of light, but that's just how I wire.
The interior is pretty atrocious though.
I'm wrapping your lounge in this white fur. It kind of reminds me of a Bengal tiger.
Galant goes, I have a great idea. She says she loves poetry. Let's get her a laptop. And I go, oh yeah, that's a great idea. And instead, they put the laptop in the back seat with a little stand, which I guess they're implying that she would just sit in the back seat all the time and god dang it, sit in the back seat all the time and write poetry, which I don't know a single person that does work out of the backseat of their car. I can never just go tell my girlfriend, hey honey, I'm gonna go edit this video in the backseat of my Mustang.
I can feel the creative juices stirring already.
Weirdest one of all though, I'd say, I can't believe it. There's something weirder than the line from the headlights. So Mad Mike goes, I'm gonna put microphones on her car so she can listen to everything around her.
Mics, as in microphones. We're gonna give Monique microphones in her bumpers so she can listen to the world around her. The key to being a good poet is to be a good listener.
I'm sorry, were you saying something?
It's like a movie loophole where you see a movie, right? Oh, let's say The Last Jedi, easy example. If you've seen The Last Jedi, you have, what's her face, purple hair actress from Jurassic Park. God, that's so disrespectful, but you know what I mean. Everyone goes, why isn't she just telling everybody the plan that she had in the first place? Because it wouldn't have made a difference in the first place. Why couldn't she just roll her windows down if she wanted to hear everything around her? That makes no sense.
Super sensitive microphones. They can hear up to 50 feet away.
Oh, dude, I gotta ask you something really important, man.
What is it, Diggity?
Dude, what do you think? Tucked or untucked?
Tucked. Definitely tucked.
White people.
Hey, I want to hear what's going on outside of the stoplight. They have another inside joke about how she has to go through the trunk to get her keys or to go through the car or whatever. The Eclipse was the same way. I feel like this was almost a running gag after a while. It's like, oh yeah, because it's a crap car, the doors don't work, so we're just gonna come through the trunk every time because it's an easy joke.
Check out my seats, they top. Pleasant.
The biggest example to show that this show is of its time is just some of the technology they give her. They give her this little PDA, essentially, that's like a personal dictionary. Just look at this thing.
Give you the tools to write your poetry.
Relaxation.
For a long time, a lot of people thought PDAs would be separate from cell phones, and then they became one thing. It made all of our lives a lot easier and one less thing to charge, because that's always annoying to charge a bunch of stuff. Then Exhibit at the very end goes, yo, I got something amazing for you. I have this digital camera that shoots 16:9.
For your backdrop, I got you a Panasonic Lumix digital camera. So what's special about this camera is that it shoots 16:9, which is a really wide angle.
Are you serious?
I always forget that when I watched this show when I was 14 years old. I was watching it on a 4:3 TV. It's unbelievable how far things have come so fast. And now everything shoots 16:9. You see somebody who just bought their GoPro and they haven't messed with any of the settings and it's in 4:3. You're like, oh, dude, you should have called me. I could have helped you. The paint job of the car is actually not that bad. The actual color itself, anyway.
And a bright shining sun right here on the hood.
Ah, it's caliente.
Weird sun thing they did is so distracting from the rest of the car. I'm like, oh no, why, no. They had that synced up to the ceiling. So I will have to give them credit. That was pretty amazing upholstery work to get that all molded up and cut. Totally give you guys credit. Galpin and West Coast have extremely talented people. That's not the issue. Along with that, they also had the body kit on it, which had the notorious early 2000s kind of fangs on it, which all that makes me think about is parking like to a curb and just barely hitting that fiberglass and shattering it, because that's typically what happens with a lot of those older kits. Even my 240SX has a fiberglass kit and I start sweating when I'm parking next to a curb. I'm like, please don't hit the curb, please don't. Another thing though is they didn't lower it at all, so the gap between the new wheels and the fender is atrocious. I'm not one of those people who says, oh, David, you need to go lower on your ride. You need that frame, scrape it on the ground, dude. You just need to do that. It stands for life, camber, hella flush. Even a lowering spring could have done it and it wouldn't have taken that much longer. I think a common misconception about Pimp My Ride is that they did all of this in like a week, but they probably had a little bit more time. It just, they edited it all together because, you know, a season would come out every season. So they had that buffer time. Once again, a lot of the stuff is cut corners to make it essentially a polished turd, to make it really nice on the inside to kind of distract you from everything else. The trunk itself though, I will say was really well done. They built this really nice box. The subwoofer system looks great. The speakers, all of that looks fantastic. So definitely did a good job on that in my opinion. But man, the rest of the car is like...
Hater vision.
What's hater vision?
It's because the people that's driving in front of you can look at their rear view mirror and go, dang, what's she watching?
I also put this board up right on the windshield. It's basically, it's one of those text boards that scrolls like this and you can customize and put whatever you want in it. So she can write on the laptop and then the poetry comes up on this. But I find it to be extremely distracting. So if she was driving down the road, it would be like this. I felt like this as I saw the sun go down and the shadow represented my feeling. And then they crash. I have a Mustang, so I can make crashing jokes, it's fine. Other than that though, I don't find the Galant somehow as bad as the Eclipse as the last episode we did. I find the Eclipse to be a little bit worse. I find the Galant to be just more feminine. I find it to be kind of the feminine version of that car. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think the Galant or the Eclipse was worse? Let me know in the comment section below, and also let me know what Pimp My Ride episode you would like to see me talk about, because I really enjoy doing these, so please let me know. All so much for hitting that subscribe button and having faith in me. I'll see you guys next time, and take it easy. Have a fantastic day. Hey, you, want clean wheels? Hey, use this, spray on. Let sit for 45 seconds and turn purple. Spray again with water, clean wheels. Make sure to check out www.pattersoncarcare.com. Made by car dudes, for car dudes.